Yesterday, I heard you say it over and over. Mission accomplished. Mission accomplished getting this bill through. But let's be honest, with all due respect, $1,400 is important, but it's not going to deliver someone long-term from poverty. Food assistance is not a substitute for a long-term, good-paying job, and we've still got 50 million Americans that haven't gotten the vaccine. How can we say mission accomplished yet?
Well, good morning, Stephanie. It's great to be on. Mission accomplished in terms of meeting the moment with respect to passing the American Rescue Plan. Joe Biden made clear that his top priority was to ensure that we addressed the COVID-19 pandemic in a comprehensive and compassionate way. This is a once-in-a-century pandemic. It required a once-in-a-century response. That's what the American Rescue Plan represents. In terms of reviving the economy, we know that the American Rescue Plan will add at least 7 million good-paying jobs. That's substantial. There's short-term assistance in the form of direct payment survival checks, and of course, dealing with issues connected to unemployment or food insecurity or people who are on the brink of homelessness. But the changes that are being made to the Affordable Care Act with the subsidies, the changes that are being made with respect to the child tax credit, the changes that are being made with respect to the earned income tax credit should have a more sustainable impact on creating an America where we can bring about prosperity in every single zip code.
So let's talk about that, because there's a difference between a rescue and a long-term resolution. $5.5 trillion into the system over the last year, which we needed. But are there permanent changes to the system in this bill? When you think about the importance of reopening schools, you're darn right it's important, but it doesn't solve for the fact that we had failing schools all over this country even before they shut down.
Well, one of the things that Joe Biden had said on the campaign trail, which I think was incredibly important, was that we have to build back better. That was a recognition that we can't return to normalcy pre-pandemic because there were challenges in terms of normalcy. There were far too many Americans who were falling behind and weren't able to robustly pursue the American dream. Prior to the pandemic, half the American people reported that they couldn't afford a sudden, unexpected $400 expense. This is the wealthiest country in the history of the world. So certainly, to your point, Stephanie, much more needs to be done in the context of the Build Back Better agenda, but this is a substantial and meaningful first step. The most significant investment in the social safety net in over a generation.
Certainly is. I want to talk about oversight, because we know in a rescue plan like this, some dollars are going to get misused, but not just some. Billions have been misused. Programs like PPP that has great intentions, started with great intentions, but we saw a lot of money go to a lot of people that didn't need it. Now that potentially we're seeing this next $1.9 trillion go through, what is oversight going to look like to ensure that this money lands in the right place?
Well, Congress will continue to undertake its oversight responsibilities led by Majority Whip Jim Clyburn, who Speaker Pelosi has reappointed to lead the COVID-19 Special Select Committee on reviewing how federal dollars are being spent to make sure that they're being spent in an effective, efficient, and equitable fashion. That work will continue. But we also have an administration that will stay on top of the expenditures to ensure that it reaches the American people. The last administration had so many problems, including that they were asleep at the switch, because Donald Trump was only really concerned with the wealthy, the well-off, and the well-connected. This administration is concerned about everyday Americans, the least, the lost, and the left behind. That will be a big difference.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank all of you out there.
Thank you as always.
Thanks to at home.
Thanks for watching.
Thank you so much for letting us into your homes during these extraordinary times.